What is up, guys? Welcome back to the 1821 Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Meyer, with my co host, Fernando Sucre. I mean, honestly, he could be the host whenever he's talking about the Chiefs because I don't know anything. But we're going to start off this podcast today with talking a little bit of Missouri football. They've got a game this Saturday at 3 o'clock against the Louisiana Raging Cajuns from the Sun Belt Conference. They are a pretty good group of five team. I think Missouri is going to take them pretty seriously. They've been perennially good for about a decade. But before we talk about that, we have to mention who the Tigers last played. Fernando, do you remember who they last played? I can't remember.
I know something about a border. I know
A
something about a
border
state.
showdown, border show,
Yeah,
border war.
I think it's Kansas. I think it's
I think it's
Kansas.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Missouri beat Kansas. Big news for Missouri fans. They beat them 42-31. I wanted to point this out, by the way. In the first week, my prediction was awfully close, right? For score. This
Correct.
week, it was you. You were really close, and you hit it bang on, right? Because you guessed 37-31. I said like 31-20 or something like that. You were dead on too, because you said, well, I kind of think Missouri's going to come out a little flat. Maybe Kansas takes a little bit of a lead. And some people at the time, we posted that on TikTok, and they were like, no way, that's not going to happen. You guys are crazy. And then it did happen. I'm not going to lie, I thought you were crazy too, but you turned out to be very right. And sitting in that press box behind KU beat reporters was a little surreal while that 21-6 lead was mounting for the Jayhawks. It was a heck of a ball game. I've been to a lot of Mizzou games in my lifetime, but that was probably one of the best games I've been to in terms of just overall the feel of the game and the atmosphere, as well as just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was a lot of fun.
It was a phenomenal experience. The reason why my prediction was that way is because I felt like the misdirection stuff that they do, how some people would say to put some dressing on the plays. Mizzou was not used to it, and I've always felt like with college football not having a preseason, it's really difficult for teams to kind of get into quote unquote game speed. And I felt like Central Arkansas was able to address some of the things, but now, when you get fancy with like misdirection and stuff like that, it took them about a quarter to get used to it. I know in the press conference after the game, we spoke with some of the players, and they mentioned how initially the misdirection was difficult to get used to, but eventually they were inviting, and I really felt like it clicked. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jackson, in the third quarter, the strip sack safety. No, second quarter.
Second quarter,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it took him one quarter to figure out the misdirection because I was on the sideline. I saw the play and I saw how they try to misdirect them, and the defensive tackles were like, "No, sir, we're gonna go for you." And then we got
Yeah.
that safety.
It was surreal watching that Kansas offense. And by the way, like kudos to KU. Like they're a good team now. Like well coached, they're fun to watch. They've got a heck of a quarterback. Say what you will about it being a Missouri rival, they're really good now. And I think they could contend for the Big 12. So I have a lot of respect for them as a team. Obviously, growing up as a fan, I'm not a big fan of KU. But you got to give credit where credit is due, and you got to be objective in these things and just admit that's a dang good football team. Watching their offense operate was interesting. I mean, we talk about the misdirection that they used, all the eye candy. It was crazy watching like three tight end personnels where they would shift the entire offensive line, all three of them, and then Missouri's defense had to scramble, and it was crazy. And I think that's what led to so many explosive plays for KU is breakdowns and communication in the back end for the Tigers because of those shifts. That's really hard. I mean, I didn't play football, but I know a little something about misdirections, playing soccer or basketball, whatever it may be. They're
Hmm.
different in many ways, but they're similar in many ways too. And that was crazy to watch. Notable performances, obviously Bo Perbula, 30 for 39, 334 with three TDs, zero picks. He seriously is kind of looking like one of the top quarterbacks in the SEC. I'm not saying he's number one, but he's definitely in that upper tier side of things, maybe just the top half. Jamal Roberts. I mean, Ahmad Hardy played really well. He's obviously the feature back, but Jamal Roberts, 13 carries, 143 yards, and a TD.
Yes.
Obviously got the game sealing TD. And then Kevin Coleman, 10 receptions, 126 yards, and a TD. First of all, Kevin Coleman's awesome. He's a fun interview, but
Yeah.
also that dude was third and fourth down. Like, Bo Prabula just is going to throw to Kevin Coleman. Like, it's pretty likely. I give it about an 80% chance that he's looking Kevin Coleman's way. And Donovan Olugbade obviously had an awesome fourth down catch that game. But apart from that, it was mainly the Kevin Coleman Jr. show. And rightfully so, because he came up big in so many moments, whether it be the 50-yard reception at the end of half, the 3-yard touchdown that he had on that little swing pass. He had a 30-yard reception early in the game to get Mizzou driving down the field for their second touchdown drive. He was big. He was so big. What did you make of his performance? What do you notice out of Kevin Coleman, like being on the sidelines and watching him play more so up close?
Yeah, he's very I definitely noticed a connection with him and Bo. You could tell that they worked a lot of reps together. And I think there's a lot of underrated things that people that do not play football don't understand about the connection of a wide receiver with a quarterback, like on the wide receiver end, like understanding where Bo is gonna put the ball in. Like, I think what really helps aside from the work, the reps together, is I believe both players have the same desire of being competitive to win the game. And, with both being transfer players, I think they have this mindset of like, I'm here to win ball games. And, like they made the effort to move from a different university. It's like, hey, the time I'm going to be here, I'm going to win ball games.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I think on Bo's side, I was talking to you about this off camera, and we've always known Bo's skill set as a runner, as a thrower. But my favorite thing about Bo Pribula is his ability to make good decisions. First quarter was we see the fumble, they're down 21-6, and mean, I can't read the future or what it would have been, but I think a different quarterback, and we would have lost this game. And all credit to Bo. He put himself together and he just kept playing ball, and we won that game. So I'm really excited because the reality, Jackson, is that we're gonna play way better teams than this. Again, Kansas is a phenomenal team, but we're gonna see higher level teams. So there's gonna be times where we're gonna be down, and who I want under center is Bo Pribula because I know that
Yeah.
if we have a chance to win, it's gonna be with him.
He looked tremendous, and you mentioned the chemistry with Kevin Coleman. I mean, it was on display. Anytime a guy gets 10 receptions in one game, that just tells you all you need to know about that relationship. But yeah, I mean, I would agree. Like Bo Prabula, like I definitely knew he was a great runner. I wasn't sure about his throwing ability, just given the little tape that we had. I knew he had a lot of talent. I saw him throw in camps, but like that's so different from live action. But he is tremendous at going through his reads. That's like the number one thing I notice is he doesn't stare down one receiver. That's my biggest pet peeve with quarterbacks when they do that. I think it limits your game. I think you miss a lot of deep balls, touchdowns, maybe just missing what the defense is giving you because you're staring down one side of the field. I'll never understand it. But Bo doesn't do that. Bo reads the field really well. That's probably why he has a 77% completion percentage this year. I mean, the guy just knows where
Hmm.
the ball needs to go and he puts it in really good spots. Like his accuracy is definitely something that I undersold. I didn't expect him to be this good. I knew he was going to be decent, but I don't think any Mizzou fan nor beat reporter can say, yeah, we thought Bo Prabula would win the Maxwell Outstanding Player of the Week award. I believe that was given to Bo Prabula this week. So big week for Prabula, big week for the Tigers. And that kind of sums up the KU game. Nothing too crazy other than, hey, Tigers came back, they showed elite resilience, and they won. And it was a really cool game.
And don't forget to give Northfleet his flowers. He got two
Yeah.
tuds, and he played well in the D line. And I really like the OC from Mizzou. I was looking at some replay, and I believe it was the second touchdown where he did some. I feel like Northfleet is a good combination of a blocking tight end with a receiving tight end as well. Because I think they were the second touchdown, the defense was expecting him to block, and then he moved to the other side, to the weak side, and that's where he scored the touchdown. So I'm excited about him too, because I do think if we became on the passing side, like, oh, it's the Kevin Coleman show, then a lot of defenses are like, all right, well, just we'll cover Coleman, but I know we're starting to develop other reliable options, and I'm excited about Northfleet. Personally, I love seeing receiving tight ends, and he's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's crazy. Like he caught that touchdown on the drag route and that put us up 35-31, I believe. But I don't know. Like it's weird. He had kind of a quietly good game. And
Hmm.
it's hard to remember that, but yeah, he did catch two touchdowns. He was big in the blocking game. He improved a lot in that because Jordan Harris used to be the primary blocking tight end, and I still think Jordan Harris holds that role for the Tigers, but Brad Norfleet certainly has improved as a blocker. Um, and obviously, like the defense played pretty well, held Kansas to 3 rushing yards. The sack certainly helped that. Things like that definitely helped. But the Tiger defense definitely played really well. I think they allowed 10 points in the last 3 quarters of the game. They allowed 21 in that first quarter, but after that they were really good. And Kansas missed some plays for sure. Jalen Daniels probably should have had another deep ball tutty that I definitely thought was going to be a touchdown and then
Yes.
wasn't. But nonetheless, I mean, can't control that if you're Mizzou. I mean, they played pretty good defense. It's something to be proud of if you're a fan. But yeah, I mean,
I think something to improve for next game, and I'm sure Drink is aware of it, is our slow starts. I feel like the first quarter and sometimes the first half, there's a lot of like issues. Like I remember game one, the O line was a mess. Then they fixed it in the second half, and then on this game, the first quarter was a mess, but then they fixed it. So my bucket list item is start hot. I know like we cannot afford to do that with South Carolina or with Alabama, or
yeah,
especially if we play away and then the crowd works against us, we completely fall apart.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the slow starts are definitely an issue. It needs to be addressed in some ways. I mean, they did score that first drive though, and then after that, it kind of crumbled because of the turnover. The defense started a little slow, and I don't even think they played horrible, but they were playing a lot of soft zone, and they were allowing these explosive plays that someone Drink mentioned. Is we gotta like limit explosive plays. Every team needs to do that, obviously. But they realize that. So we'll see if Mizzou gets better with that. Part of my worry with the team, if you're a Mizzou fan, I'd be looking at the safeties. I the safeties are really good on this team, but they're not coverage safeties.
Hmm.
They're definitely they like to play in the run game and they like to hit. Like if you catch a ball over the middle and Jalen Catalon's right there, you might be out for the rest of the game, right? But
Yeah.
those guys aren't one-on-one cover safeties. They just aren't. So there was times in that game where they would get paired up on a Kansas wide receiver in the slot because they were running, 5 wide receivers in their formation. One-on-one with Jalen Catalon, you're probably going to win that. No offense to Jalen Catalon, but that's just not his game, right? It's
Hmm.
not a disrespectful comment. That's just truth. Right. So if you're a team playing against Missouri, you really want to attack those safeties, and I think Kansas did that really well. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to figure out something to get those guys out of those man on man assignments and see if they can do something. I'm sure Corey Batoon can do it. That's why he gets paid millions of dollars and I get paid zero. So I don't know. But Corey Batoon will probably figure it out. But yeah, moving on a little bit, obviously we mentioned Saturday, a game versus Louisiana, member of the Sun Belt Conference. They've been pretty good the last 5 or 6 years. They had a little bit of a down year last year, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm not going to lie. I don't know much about Louisiana other than the fact that they have a really good running game. They have two really, really good running backs. They have a decent offensive line. That's what they've been known for. They have a
Hmm.
coach who has stuck around. And Billy Napier used to coach there, who now coaches Florida. And that program is a dumpster fire. That's all I know. Okay. So I'm not going to act like I'm going to go into this with 3 keys to win for Mizzou because I think it's a given Missouri probably wins this game. Now, how they win it, I think is very important. I don't think this game should be a one score game in the fourth quarter. I think Mizzou should probably win by 17 or more, I think is what I'd put that at. I mean, this is a solid group of five team. It's not Central Arkansas. You're not going to blow them out by 50, but at least make it a pretty comfortable lead, comfortable victory, send the fans home happy, and then you set up for South Carolina, probably a top 10 matchup. They're a top 10 team. I mean, Missouri's not going to get in the top 10 unless, the AP poll voters keep, drinking a lot of alcohol because the AP polls are really bad. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
This is the part of our conversation where I'm gonna turn my fan brain on for like a couple minutes. I'll turn it back off. But I feel like throughout the years, and by years I mean a couple of years, where I've follow Mizzou the most. They have this weird thing where they win the games they're supposed to. They're not supposed to, and then they lose the games they're supposed to. I feel like this is a trap game where everybody and their mother are gonna think, "Oh, we're gonna beat Louisiana," and then somehow we lose. I hope I'm wrong, but I think we've had enough of quote unquote trap games where I hope that Drink is aware of that. And I think honestly, from the way he was sounding in the press conference, he's very aware of like, hey guys, I know we beat Kansas, but this is week two. So I think he has the guys mentally in the right spot where they're like, hey, I don't care who's in the field, we're gonna respect them, and then we're gonna play 110%. So I hope that's the case because, as you were saying, Louisiana is not a very popular or like a top 10 school, but they can play football and they can beat. That's the beauty of college football. Anybody can beat anybody any day of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Louisiana, obviously, you got to give them their flowers because they've been really good. They've won conference championships recently. They're very respected in the Sun Belt Conference. And Eli used to coach at Appalachian State, so he's played Louisiana before. It's been a while, but he's played them before, right? And Ahmad Hardy played against them last year at UL Monroe. So there's some guys in this program that are very familiar with the Raging Cajuns and how they play football, but they're a really good team. And this is definitely like the makings of a trap game, right? You're coming off a huge win versus your arch nemesis. You've got
Hmm.
potentially a top 10 team coming into town. There's talks of college game day potentially. Like this has every making to be a trap game. But I will agree with you. I mean, when we've interviewed Drink this week, it's been very, yeah, guys, there's a lot to fix. Like he hasn't been praising this team at all. Like, and that's the way Eli is, right? If they're going to win a big game, Eli's going to point out all the flaws to bring his guys back down to earth. If they lose a
Hmm.
big game, he's going to bring that team up. And that's what a coach does, right? You don't want to keep your
Right.
guys too high, too low. So we'll see. I definitely think this could be a game where it's close early on.
Hmm.
Maybe Mizzou doesn't come out with the mentality of we need to kick these guys' teeth in, but we'll see how that game evolves. I mean, it boils down to stopping the run pretty much. Other than that, Louisiana doesn't have much of an offense. They have a redshirt freshman at quarterback. I know he's pretty inexperienced. Um, this would be his first game in an environment like this, no doubt. So we'll see. And it's going to be a hot one too. And depth is going to be important because guys are going to get tired. It's going to be
Yeah.
95 degrees. And I'm praying for you on the sideline. Please, please bring a gallon of water, Fernando. But yeah, it's going to be a hot one. It's rough, but I
Listen,
mean, yeah,
Jackson, I'm still learning. I'll share on our socials, but I almost got ran over by Coleman on the touchdown last week. So I'm learning how to take good pictures without getting run over. On Jamal Roberts ceiling touchdown, I had the option to take a picture and get run over, or don't take a picture and let them win. So I went with the other one, with the safe
yeah,
one.
it's fair. That's fair. Definitely don't want you to get hurt on the sidelines. That would suck. It's definitely happened to quite a bit of photographers over the years. I know that. Honestly, there's not much to break down about this game. Whenever we play, group of five opponents, you obviously got to give them the respect and you've got to point out the things that they're good at and realize, okay, there is like a sliver of a chance that Mizzou gets upset here. I think Mizzou wins this game probably 38-20. 38 to
Okay.
20. I think it's going to be a pretty respectable football game. I don't think it's going to get out of proportion, but I do think that they beat Louisiana.
Yeah, I think my prediction will be let's do 31-21.
I like that.
Mizzou wins the game. They hold the lead the whole game. Mud Hardy runs the ball a lot, allows Mizzou to have longer possession time with the football, and then the defense gets tired by the fourth quarter, and then you see maybe a 40-yard bomb from Hardy. That's my prediction.
I like that. That's good. Yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I definitely think Mizzou wins. I would like to see it over 10 points, but I can understand if they only win this game by 10 or 13, but we'll see. We'll see. On paper, they should win this game by 3 touchdowns, but that's not how football always works. So, that leads us into our last segment. My phone is slowly trickling down on the battery, but we have one more thing to talk about. The Kansas City Chiefs, aka maybe slightly overrated Chiefs. Just kidding. They played the Philadelphia Eagles this week. I'm rooting for the Chiefs, okay? I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I don't like the Eagles, all right? I don't really care too much about the NFL other than watching the New York Jets suck every week, but this is going to be an exciting game. Tell me a little bit about your feelings going into this game. What do the Chiefs have to do to win? Where can they
Yeah.
attack the Eagles?
Yeah, I think when we lost in Brazil, a lot of things. I think there was a lot of reaction takes, and like, oh, how long is Xavier Worthy's going to be out for? The good news, he's going to be out for about 3 weeks or so. We have a pretty depleted receiving corps right now, but honestly, we had a pretty solid record last year with a depleted wide receiving corps, and we have a pretty good set of rookies. To answer your question directly, what we need to do is bench Juwan Taylor. It's
Bench Vaughn
insane.
Taylor, yeah.
That's how we win the game. It's insane how many a 5-yard penalty we got from him. It got to a point in the game where you see the ref blow the play, and I knew exactly. He did not even announce it. I knew what happened. Don't even say it. I know what happened, and I know I don't get paid millions of dollars to be OC, GM, or be an Andy Reid, but it's insane to me to think that a guy that does that many penalties, number one, doesn't stop doing it, and number two, if he doesn't stop doing it, why is he still playing for the Kansas City Chiefs? Like,
Yeah,
if that's the level of play that you need, put me in. I'll do all those penalties for and get paid those millions of dollars because the mediocrity of allowing that player to be there is insane. Okay, so that's I I'll say this. Last time we started 0-1, we won the Super Bowl. So let's push on the brakes, and as great as the Eagles looked on this season opener, I think they're a beatable team. The secondary is not as the high level as they were last year, so I think there's some work that we can do through the secondary. I am hoping for better play from Pacheco. Pacheco does not look nearly close as he was before that injury that he had last year against the Bengals. They kept saying like, "Oh, he's 100% back." I saw him play. He does not look great. I don't know if it's a mental blockage or whatever the case is, but it's either him or Kareem Hunt needs to step up. I know Andy Reid likes to use them on short Jordan's plays, but I think maybe we need to give him more reps. I don't know. So we'll see. I'm hoping for a victory. It's an Arrowhead. Arrowhead is gonna be rocking. They're gonna support the boys.
yeah, I like that. I don't know, and I've told you this about the Chiefs off camera several times. I've talked to my dad about this too. My biggest fear for the Kansas City Chiefs is I don't think they've gotten better, and everyone around them has gotten better, and that's my fear for them because that roster, when I look at it, it doesn't scream Super Bowl. Like somehow they do it because Patrick Mahomes is just literally one of the
Patrick
greatest
Mahomes.
quarterbacks of all time. He might be the greatest in terms of talent, right? But my goodness, like that roster, like the defense is pretty solid, right? The defense is pretty good. That's been an underrated part of the Kansas City Chiefs for years. But that offense, I look at that offense and I'm not like, wow.
Excited. Yeah.
Like that's what worries me. And the Eagles have a heck of a defense, and Patrick Mahomes might be seeing ghosts with Cooper DeJean. All right, who knows? But
Listen, he's
I
not Sam Darnold.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna take the Eagles, but that's an unbiased pick. because my bias says Chiefs. Even though I'm not a Chiefs fan, I want my parents to be happy. So I picked the Chiefs. But I do think the Eagles are a better team. And I just it's hard to pick the Chiefs in a game where I feel like they're not close to that level of talent right now. If you would have said this to me 3 years ago with Tyreek Hill still on the roster, which the Chiefs should go get Tyreek Hill back. That needs to happen. That needs to happen. But they should go do that. I would have said no. But the Eagles are the Eagles, and they don't play
But
around.
here's the thing, Jackson. The Chiefs are living proof that your roster does not need to be this exciting all-star team. All you gotta do is win the game, you know. And last year, and then the year before when we beat the Niners, like, can you even tell me the starting wide receiver? You cannot.
Valdez Scantling was the wide
Right.
receiver one on that team. Yep.
Right, and he's fighting for his life to be a to well, he has a roster spot now, but he on a normal team, he'll probably be like 4th or 5th on a depth chart, and we won
Yeah.
the game. So I think the Kansas City Chiefs are living proof. You don't need to have like this all-star team where you dump a lot of money on players. If you have a good chemistry as a team, you can win a game. And I think the Chiefs still have the championship DNA. Is it going to be an ugly route to for maybe another ring? I hope so, but I don't know. Who knows?
I like it. You'll take the Chiefs. I'll take the Eagles. I'll probably be wrong, but we'll see. I have a bad feeling about that pick, but it's okay. It's fine. But yeah, so that ends us off, man. Mizzou, big win over KU. They play Louisiana Saturday. I'll also be at the Hickman game tomorrow covering that. I'll cover Hickman for the rest of the season as well as their basketball program coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that. And we will be there Saturday, obviously, sweating our butts off in the 95-degree heat to talk about us beating a
Woohoo.
Sun Belt team. So that'll be a blast. But other than that, do you have anything else, Fernando?
No, I was gonna say we try to record once a week, either Wednesday or Thursday, however it turns out. So just keep an eye, aside from the game, from the coverage content, just watch videos for us about once a week.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, we will see you guys on the next episode of the 1821 Sports Podcast, and thank you for tuning in.